Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I am teaching you how to make this simple obby game inside of Roblox Studio. This took me forever to edit, so please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Anyways, let's get started. First of all, small disclaimer, this tutorial assumes you have Roblox Studio installed already and have very basic knowledge on how to use it. With that cleared up, start with any template, preferably a base plate. After you load in, first of all, delete the base plate. Open Workspace, select Base Plate, and press Delete on your keyboard. Slide over to the part icon under the Home tab. Click on it to create a part. Delete the spawn location the same way as the base plate. Use the Scale tool to size this part to your liking. You can even input the size directly if that's easier for you. However, it's very important to make sure the anchored property is checked. Continue customizing this part. Keep in mind the color and the material. Once you are satisfied with your part, duplicate it by selecting it and pressing Ctrl+D. Take this part and move it up a bit using the Move tool. Resize and customize this part. This is going to be a checkpoint. Once you're happy with how both parts look, select the checkpoint. Ensure it's anchored and name it 1, as it's the first stage. Scroll down and add a tag to this part and call it checkpoint. Now let's get started on some stages. Follow along if needed, but use some of your own imagination. Using Ctrl+D really helps with this. Once you complete a stage, you can select the checkpoint parts, duplicate them, and move them over. Make sure to rename the checkpoint part to 2 in this case. Repeat the process until you have enough stages. Pro tip: if you right-click on a checkpoint and select Show Orientation Indicator, a blue arrow sticks out from the part. You want this to point in the direction that the obby goes. On stage 1, this is already correct. Correct on stage 2. But on stage 3, it's pointed the wrong direction, so I will rotate it 90 degrees. Now let me continue building my obby. What if you want to add a lava part? First, customize it to look like one, then give it the lava tag. Let me finish making my obby before we get it to work. Now this part is important. You need to select all your checkpoints in the Explorer. In this case, I have 6. Select one of them and shift-click all of them. Press Ctrl+Alt+G on your keyboard to create a folder. Name this folder Checkpoints. This next part is completely optional, but will help you stay organized. Select all the parts for stage 1, except the checkpoint. Press Ctrl+Alt+G to group it. Name this folder 1, and with it selected, press Ctrl+Alt+G again. Name this new folder Levels or something related. Now go to every stage and create a folder for all the parts. However, drag the folder into the Levels folder instead of making a new Levels folder. Repeat this process for every stage. Let's play test this for fun to see what we have. There's currently no way to see our current stage and checkpoints don't work. We have a lot of scripting to do. I recommend going to Players and setting respawn time to 0 so that players respawn instantly after they die. Now let's get scripting. Go to Server Script Service and insert a script by clicking the plus. Name it something relevant like stage. So let's get started. You don't need any knowledge on how to script, as I will guide you through. But if you know what you're doing, feel free to modify my script. First, delete everything and type this line to detect when a player joins. You can move over after the first end parentheses and press Enter to automatically create an end. Enter these lines to create leader stats, which is the top right leaderboard in game. I put a few extra lines in here to make sure everything is done before we parent the leader stats. Now go into the extra lines and follow these steps to create a stage value. I should mention, feel free to pause at any time during this tutorial if you need more time. You can test this by pressing the play button, and you can see we have leader stats. Let's use Collection Service to handle the checkpoints. Scroll down after the player added function and add this to loop through all the checkpoints. Just in case a checkpoint loads in later, add this function that detects if a new checkpoint is added. Now go up a few lines and create a local function to handle the checkpoints. Now follow me to call this function for each checkpoint. Now let's focus on making the checkpoints work. The stage number is just the name of the checkpoint. To number it because the name is a string and we want a number. Now we want to detect if the checkpoint is touched. Write this function. Hit is the part that touched it. We want to determine which player touched it by using this function. This works because if hit is a part if the character, then hit.parent is the character. But in case a player wasn't found, such as if it wasn't a player who touched the checkpoint, we want a simple if statement. Then refer to the player's stage value like this. We only want to update the stage if it is one less than the checkpoint number, so add another if statement. Finally, update the stage value to the stage number. Let's test the game again. You can see if I touch the second checkpoint, my stage updates to 2. But if I reset my character, I get set back to the beginning. To fix this, first we want to make a variable to the checkpoints folder we made earlier in the workspace. Now inside of the player added function, create a character added function like this. Every time the player spawns, we want to determine which checkpoint the player should be spawned at. Then add an if statement just in case, and teleport the player to the checkpoint with this line. Let's test it again, and we can see the checkpoint works if I reset my character. It even points me in the direction that the obby goes. Let's continue testing our obby, and oh no, the lava doesn't work. Let's fix that. First, create another script inside of server script service and name it something along the lines of lava. Then make a variable for collection service. Make a function, lava handler. Loop through all lava parts and detect if more are added, just in case. Inside the function, detect if it's touched. This time we don't care about which player touches the lava, we just want to know if it's a player. The easiest way to do this is to make a variable for the humanoid, as every player character has one. If there is one, it's a player and we can set the health to 0. What's the point of a game if it doesn't save? Let's add saving. Small disclaimer, there are more efficient ways to save data, ones that handle data loss, etc., but this method gets the job done for a simple obby game. Open the stage script if you haven't already. Create a variable for data store service like this, and another variable for the actual data. You can put anything inside of the parentheses, but I just put stage data. Scroll down to right above the checkpoint handler script and make a new function when a player leaves the game. Reference their stage value so we can save it. Then create a pcall function in case there is an error with the saving. Take your data store and set async. Put any key that is unique to each player, preferably just their user ID. Then add the stage.value in there. Just in case saving was not successful, warn the error message so we can troubleshoot if needed. Now occasionally servers can be shut down without the player leaving. In this case, we still want to save player data. Create a game bind to close function. Loop through all the players in the game like this. Now we want to put the same thing in here as we put in the player leaving function. But let's create a new function for this to stay organized. Scroll up to above the player joining function and create a function. Let's call this function in the bind to close function and copy everything in the player leaving function. Paste it into the save stage function and call it from the player leaving function. We have saving done. Now we just need to load it. In the player joining function, under where we created the stage value, use getAsync and the player user ID to get the data. We want to check if they have data, because new players won't, and if so, we set the stage.value to the data. Don't get too excited though, we still have a few things that need to be done. First of all, publish the game. Go to File, then Publish to Roblox. Give it a simple name and description. Play around with the settings. Then when you're happy, press Create. Next, press Close and navigate to Game Settings under the Home tab. Press on Security and enable Studio access to API services if you want to test saving in Roblox Studio. Finally, press Save. Now we can give this a try. Let me reach stage 2. I'll try leaving. Let's see if it saves. Yes, it does. Now make your way over to the Roblox homepage. Click on the Create tab at the top. Find your game. Hover over the image and click View on Roblox. You can copy the link from the browser or whatever and send it to your friends to play. However, before you can do that, click on the 3 dots at the top right corner and select Configure this place. Here you can change the name and description, like if it got removed for some reason. You can also click on Icon to choose or upload an image that will be seen on the home page. You can also click on a thumbnail to choose or upload an image that will show when a player clicks on your game. Then, click on Access and change the maximum player count. I recommend setting it low, like 8 players. Make sure you save your changes. We finished all the work. Now we just need to release the game. Head back to Roblox Studio and go to Game Settings under the Home tab. Go to the Permissions tab and select who you want to be able to play. Either select just your friends or everyone on Roblox. Finally, press Save, and your game is officially finished and released. Now you can give your game a try with some of your friends. But if you are like me and have no friends, you can use your alt instead. Wow, so fun! Playing with my friends is so much fun. I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial, and remember, the only limit is your creativity. Thanks for watching.